number 8 Wazyata heading in here to take on the Red Knights. A few days ago outdoors, the Red Knights hosted number 1 Andover. And the Red Knights got off to a hot start, but Andover showing why many people think they're a state tournament favorite, as they scored 6 of the next 7 goals and went on to win that game by a score of 6-3. Meanwhile, Wazyata coming in at 3-1. They're number 8, as we mentioned. They've already knocked off defending Class A champion Breck. And for the Red Knights, their focus on defense is going to be on the tandem of number 4 Sophie Urban and number 24 Gretchen Branton, who have already combined for 11 goals and 17 points in 4 games for the Trojans this season, if the visiting Trojans are introduced. Well, the Red Knights will be looking for another strong showing against a tough opponent, as the Red Knights about to be introduced.
Now, announcing your BSM Knights, number 33,
Rose Beeman in goal tonight for the Red Knights.
Get that up there better than me. I'm under the gun, buddy. Doesn't really matter.
As the teams break their pregame huddles. Goal tonight for the Trojans will be number 5, Julia Kimlinger. There are 3 goaltenders on the Trojans roster. All 3 of them have seen some action thus far. It'll be Kimlinger this evening. For the Red Knights, it'll be Rose Beeman, who had a spectacular 2018-19, 11-3-1, just a 1.63 goals against average. So it gets set to drop the puck and get underway here from the rec center as the puck dumped down deep into the Benilde St. Margaret's zone by Addie Hackley, but it'll be an icing, so we'll have a face-off back in the Trojan zone. 16:54 to go here in the first period, and no score, just underway. Olivia Hogg will take the face-off for the Red Knights here. The face-off pushed up into the corner. We're back out toward neutral ice, and quickly here's Gretchen Branton into the offensive zone. Branton with a shot, and that was saved by Beeman as the shot works its way back toward the neutral zone, but it's able to be held in and taken away by Sophie Heyer, and Heyer with a shot right into the midsection of the goaltender Beeman, and we'll have a face-off in the Red Knight zone. 16:35 to go, first period. Wazyata already coming out flying here with 2 shots on goal. Sophie Urban taking the face-off. The face-off trickles its way in front of the Red Knights net, steered around by Maya Jones for the Red Knights. She'll play it along the far side boards into the offensive zone with some speed. Here's Mary Zavoro as she sends a shot wide off the end boards. It'll work its way around toward the near side. 16:17 to go here in the first period. No score. As a centering feed sneaks through past Lucy Hansen up to the far side boards. Wazyata gains control, gets it back out to the neutral with Branton. Branton 1-on-3 into the offensive zone as she can't work her way between a couple of Red Knights, but that will draw a penalty for the collision. As Branton was trying to split 2 Red Knight defenders and able to get Jones to commit a penalty against her, so that'll put the Trojans on an early power play. 15:57 to go, first period, no score. As Mallory Coffin will take the face-off. It's still loose in front of the net and now flipped out through the neutral zone. It'll work its way back toward the Wazyata end, and back to pick it up deep in her own zone is Sammy Hackley. Hackley from deep in her own zone. Gets it off to Coffin. Coffin will work her way up the left wing side into the offensive zone as Emma Hain tried to knock her off the puck there, but Wazyata able to maintain possessions and kick back to the point. Hackley able to hold. There's a long shot that'll go wide on the far side by Ali Scoro, and now it's whistled dead. 15:26 to go here in this first period. 1:29 of power play. And another penalty coming here against the Red Knights, as Anna Podine will take the gate. And that would be a 5-on-3 for 1:29. As Urban, who has 6 goals this season, will step into the face-off circle, controlled by Wazyata. 1:25 now in the 5-on-3. Wazyata controls. It's sent over by Branton. As Hackley with a shot that was blocked. It's Addie Hackley again as she sends it up to Urban. Urban gets it back to Hackley, but it's a little bit hot off her stick. Reversing direction toward the circle, and she kicks it back up into the slot. Urban sliding this one through, she scores! Sophie Urban, a power play goal. That's her 7th of the season in just over 4 games. It's 1-0 Wazyata. Oh, we mentioned the tandem of Urban and Branton having combined for 11 goals coming into the game in just 4 games, and now they've had 12 in a little over 4, plus about 3 minutes and 2 seconds. That'll be the time of the goal here in the first period. 1-0 Wazyata on the goal by Urban. Look, it's set to having a conversation with the official as he steps into the Wazyata penalty box, I think, to get a better discussion of things with the scorer's table. So it's a 5-on-3 power play goal for Sophie Urban. Still 1:32 now of 5-on-4 for the Trojans. It's 1-0 Wazyata. The puck able to be pushed deep into the zone by Lily Mortensen. It'll be picked up behind the net by McKenna Hartle. Hartle getting fended off by Mortensen. The Trojans will play it back around their net. Now carried around to the near side. Back out at neutral. Here's Urban with it again. As Urban will work her way up the left wing side into the offensive zone. She'll play it around to the far side toward Branton. Branton will control the puck as she sends it over to Hackley. Hackley gets it over toward the near side, and Coffin back to Hackley. Hackley with a shot that's saved. Rebound able to be gathered up by Beeman. 14-14 to go, first period. 1-0 Wazyata on the goal by Sophie Urban. That's her 7th of the season. Face off to her right. The Red Knights control. They flip it around and will work its way back into the neutral zone as Sammy Hackley back to try to pick it up, but ends up pushing it all the way deep into the Wazyata zone. 36 seconds, remaining in the power play. 14 minutes to go in this first period. 1-0 Wazyata. Now the Trojans play from deep in their own zone behind their net. They work their way back out to neutral ice on the near side. Here's Ruby Moss. Moss gains the offensive zone. Moss getting fended off in the corner. Puck along the half wall as the Red Knights lose control as they try to take it away. It's still loose in the slot, now brought out into the neutral zone by Emma Hain. The Trojans regain control in their own zone. Scoro able to gain the offensive zone, but lost control of the puck as she tried to get around Hain. Power play over. Red Knights back at full strength, but they did give up a power play goal in the 5-on-3 part of the equation, so Wazyata leading at 1-0. Scoro can't quite control the puck, and it ends up being pushed deep into the Wazyata zone. We're going to get a penalty here as Mary Zavoral gathered in the puck and starting to try to make a move toward the net. We're going to get a penalty coming here against Wazyata. Looks like they're going to go against the... Well, there's some confusion because I think they put the wrong... Well, it's going to be a penalty against the Red Knights, rather. My apologies. There was some confusion there as Olivia Hogg ends up in the penalty box. I think Wazyata came on the ice. They only had 4 players, and they were on the Wazyata zone, and they moved to the Benilde St. Margaret's end. That's Wazyata back on the power play. They're already 1 for 2. As Hackley back deep in her own zone gets it out toward neutral ice, whereas Zavoral tries to knock it down. As the Trojans will push it in toward the offensive zone. And Urban back out at neutral ice with it. He was trying to get this pass up to McKenna Hartle, but it was out of her reach. 1:20 to go in the power play. 12:25 in the first period. We'll get yet another stoppage of play in a very stop-and-start first period thus far. 12:24 to go in the first period. Already had a handful of penalties assessed. And we have an offside there that will move it into the neutral zone. As Scoro controls the puck. Tried to get it to her teammate. I don't think she saw it initially, but able to be controlled by Coffin. There's Ruby Moss with it. She gives it back to Coffin. Kicks it back to the point. Coffin now taking it back near the circle. Coffin trying to work her way toward the slot up high. And she leaves it off behind her for Scoro. Scoro whistles this one through. It's loose in front. Rebound is pushed up through the slot. Turnaround shot. It's still loose in front. It's Wazyata able to put on some really good offensive pressure here as it's in behind the net. Sophie Heyer. It's still loose in front of the nets. Heyer comes around. Her shot was saved with the pad by Beeman. Takes it back to the point. Held in by Scoro. Over to Coffin on the near side. Coffin working her way with it. Coffin leaves it behind her for Scoro. Scoro with a shot through traffic that was knocked down in front by Maya Jones. It's way back out to neutral. They tried to get it in deep to the Wazyata zone, but it was knocked down. Jones with it in her own zone once again. Sammy Hackley comes away with it. And then chipping away at it out front was Heyer. The dude couldn't really get much on the backhand, and then initially whiffing on the clear attempt was Mortensen. She does get it out to neutral ice. Back into the offensive zone is Coffin for Wazyata. Coffin sliding this one through. That'll go wide. Power play over for Wazyata. That power play may have lasted almost seemingly an eternity as this puck sliding in on toward the Wazyata net as Hogg racing to pick it up. Dangerous play as Hogg had just come out of the penalty box. See that happen more often than a lot of teams would like. It's now back in the Wazyata zone. It's loose in front, and Beeman having to poke that puck away as it got behind her, and she poked it away. She just got enough stick on it to push it wide as it's sent back deep into the Wazyata zone. Now loose in the circle and taken away by the Trojans as McKenna Hartle. Hartle 1-on-3, brought it into the offensive zone. Red Knights have it taken away. Here's Hartle. Hartle, oh, what a move. And they score. Gretchen Branton. Oh, my goodness, what a play. As Branton completely deked Rose Beeman onto the ice and put it in a wide open net. So Urban and Branton, who came in with Urban with 6 and Branton with 5, both have scored in this first period. It's 2-0 Wazyata. I think the Red Knights going to take their timeout. The Red Knights using their timeout here early in this first period. As talked about in the intro, I'm going to have to slow down Sophie Urban and slow down Gretchen Branton from the Trojans, and both have scored in this first frame. Urban with her 7th and Branton with her 6th. Not quite 7 minutes into this first period. 10:15 remaining in the first frame. And Branton took the puck on the far side half wall, worked her way unimpeded into the middle of the ice, and was able to deke Beeman to lay out to block the shot, and that left the net yawning wide open for Branton to put in her 6th of the year. We are now back underway. Red Knights push it into the Wazyata zone. Played around to the far side corner as Heyer gets it out toward neutral ice, where it's intercepted by Jones, but Jones can't quite gain into the offensive zone. As Urban has the puck poked away from her and then sent deep into the Wazyata zone. It'll work its way around the Trojan net as Addie Hackley back to pick it up. Hackley works her way up the near side boards. Scoro dumps it in deep. Play continuing in the the near side half wall, as Urban trying to play this one through the corner, but it's deflected back out to neutral ice and then into the Wazyata zone. This one tipped in by Heyer, and Wazyata will change. 9:25 to go first period. 2-0 Wazyata on goals by Urban and Branton. Two unquestioned stars of this Wazyata team, and the Branton goal, an absolutely spectacular effort. As in the offensive zone is Coffin. She kins it back toward the point. And we push through the corner. Comes around toward the near side. As Zavoril battling. As Moss and Hackley were down there as well. Could be a 2-on-1 if the Red Knights hurry. If there's a shot. And that's saved in the 5-hole by Kimlinger. With 8:49 to go here in the first period. 2-0 Wazyata offensive zone faceoff coming for the Red Knights. Olivia Haag in the offensive zone circle for the Red Knights, but Wazyata able to win the faceoff again, and this one played in by Sarah Ottelin, and it's going to be an icing call, so we'll bring it all the way back into the Wazyata zone. 8:43 to go here in the first period. 2-0 Wazyata on goals by Urban and Branton. As Haag again will take the face off, this time able to be controlled by Abby Hancock, and Hancock's shot might have gotten through to Kimlinger. Sent back out to neutral ice. Red Knights will look to set back up again. Hancock with it on the near side. He sends it cross ice in front of the Red Knight bench. It flipped through. Haag able to tip it in. As Wazyata picking it up. Scoro will work her way behind the Trojan net. Scoro plays it up to the far side boards. It's sliding in for a shot. Wide of the net is Emma Peschel. As Wazyata controls now in their own zone again. Now back out at neutral, and some good effort to try to poke this one in deep by Sophia Bach. It's sent back into the Wazyata zone. Now played into the zone again by Branton as the puck works its way behind the Red Knight net. As Branton battling with Peschel. Branton still battling down there. The puck eventually pushed behind the Red Knight net to play it up to the far side, able to be held in. There's a shot that's loose in front and able to be covered up by Beeman with 6:46 to go in the first period. Wazyata leading at 2-0. On early goals by Urban and Branton. Two names you're likely to hear a lot this evening. Urban in the face-off circle with DeCesar. The puck on the far side boards does get its way into the neutral zone as Avery Junker able to push it into the Wazyata zone. Trojans will play it from behind their net as Hackley tries to play it over to the near side. It's loose in the near side corner. Now back out to neutral ice. It's played in by Branton. It'll work its way behind the Red Knight net, where Podine picks it up. Podine floats it back out into the neutral zone, where the Trojans will set up again. Pass over to Hackley on the near side. Hackley with a stretch pass through the neutral zone, but it'll get deep into the Trojan zone, or Trojan offensive zone. A backhand pass out in front, and Moss just whiffed on the backhand. But a beautiful setup there as Coffin tried to set that one up for Moss. Pass just a little bit out of the reach of Moss. As Sammy Hackley with Coffin now deep in their own zone. Back out at neutral ice. Hancock with it for the Red Knights. Hancock will play this one to the far side boards. As Hackley has it taken away into the offensive. Don't lose a shot, they score! Mary Zavoral with her third goal of the year, and the deficit cut in half. That one coming at 10:33 of the first period. Zavoral with her team leading third. That'll make it 2-1 Wazyata. So Zavoral with her third of the year. Was played back in the Benilde St. Margaret zone as Sophie Melsness trying to play it along as this one intercepted out front, and then Abby Prodal came flying in for the Trojans but was unable to get a shot away as it was poked away. As McMillan plays it off the end boards. With the Red Knights and getting themselves in a little bit of trouble deep in their own zone. Now they are able to get it out to neutral ice. Into the offensive zone is Melsness. It'll work its way around the net as the Trojans play it back around to the near side. Back out to neutral ice. It's Lucy Hansen trying to get it in deep. Again, deep in the Wazyata zone. 5.5 minutes to go here in the first period. 2-1. Wazyata scored the first two goals, Urban and Branton, and then Mary Zavoral getting one back for the Red Knights as an icing goal here will send it back deep into the Wazyata zone with 5:22 to go in the first period. Well, the Red Knights having done a good job of stopping the bleeding. The puck is controlled by Addie Hackley for Wazyata. She gets it out to neutral ice. The puck is knocked down in front of the Wazyata bench and now punched up into the Trojan bench. We'll have another face-off with 5:13 to go here in the first period. 2-1 Wazyata leading. The Trojans got the first two. And the Red Knights able to get one back just a moment ago. As the Red Knights win the face-off, they're able to push it deep into the Wazyata zone as Hackley plays it around the net. Tied up on the end boards now pushed up into the far side corner. The Trojans gain control in the corner, and then a hit put on up there by Hain. Puck kicked back to the point. There's a shot, rebound loose in front, and now picked up by the Trojans. Here comes Branton through neutral ice. Branton into the offensive zone. Branton in the circle. As she slides this one through the centering pass, able to elude a lot of bodies. Comes down all the way to the near side board. There's a shot that's snagged with the glove off the stick of Sophie Heyer. And we'll have a face-off. 4:28 to go, first period. 2-1, Wazyata leading. As Mallory Coffin will take the face-off against Lily Mortensen. Puck is still loose in the circle. Now kicked back toward the point into the neutral zone. Wazyata unable to get the puck under control. And now the Red Knights able to get it deep into the Trojan zone. We're going to get a penalty possibly coming. Nope, no signal for a penalty. Some pretty hard contact there, but no call. As Jones trying to keep it in the Wazyata zone. Eventually slid all the way back out where Zavarol sent it cross ice and able to be dumped in by the Red Knights. As Scoro plays it up to the far side corner. As this pass sliding through. Eventually corralled by the Trojans. It'll be carried in by Sloan Matthews. Matthews third on the team in goals with 3. They played up to the far side corner by the Red Knights in their own zone. And then slid back out to neutral, where it's controlled there by Abby Prodal. It'll be dumped in deep to the Red Knight zone. As Beeman out of her net thought about playing it, then got back in as Prodal made a strong effort to make a play on that puck. That one intercepted by Addie Hackley and then dumped into behind the Wazyata net. The Red Knights get it back out to neutral ice. Back to pick it up is McKenna Hartle in her own zone. And she'll play this one into the neutral zone where Hancock gets it in for the Red Knights. As Hancock tried to catch up to that one in front of Hackley, it ended up around the Trojan net. As Urban can't quite control that puck, Red Knights able to get it back out to neutral ice and then sent in by Branton. Played over to Hancock on the near side. She sends it far side for Podine, who dumps it into the Wazyata zone, but the Trojans able to send it right back out. That's the longest stretch of uninterrupted play we've had in this first period. As there's Branton with a shot that's blocked, as Jones got her skates in the way of that one. 2:15 to go in the first. Back into the offensive zone. Here comes the Red Knights. And a penalty coming here against Wazyata. Extra attacker on for the Red Knights. Delayed penalty coming against the Trojans. As the Trojans touch up. And the Red Knights will go on the power play for the first time in the game with 1:56 to go in the first period. Wazyata already with 3 extra attacker advantages. They scored on one of them. That was a 5-on-3. It was the goal by Urban that opened the scoring. Urban and Branton made it 2-0. Wazyata and then Zavarol cut the deficit in half to make it 2-1 where we are now. A hooking call against Addie Hackley. It's Podine over to Hancock. It's Haag. Oh, what a stick move. Haag with a shot, slides through traffic and then just tipped wide. They try to get DeCesar out front. But the Red Knights able to maintain control. Now poked back out to neutral ice, so the Red Knights will have to reset. Here's Haag with it. She works her way back into her own zone. Haag sends it into the neutral zone to Caesar, trying to get control of it. But eventually be taken over by Mallory Coffin, who will just clear it in deep. 1:11 to go in the power play. 1:05 in the first period. 2-1 Wazyata. As Haag sends it cross ice for Hancock. Hancock in front of the scorer's table. As Sophie Heyer gets it into the Red Knight zone. As Hain plays it in deep. 45 seconds in the period. 47 seconds in the power play, so effectively the power play would end when the period does, only be about 2 seconds remaining to start the second period. It's Nelsness racing to catch up to that puck in the corner. Nelsness still with it. As she sends it up, there's a shot. It's loose in front and able to be covered up. As Emma Peschel took that shot from just outside the far side circle. And Kimblinger able to get on top of it. 21.9 to go in the period. 25 in the power play. As Hogg will take the face-off against Urban, controlled by the Red Knights. The shot is loose in front again and ended up on the end boards. Comes back to the point. The linesman jumps over it. Jones with it. Jones will play this one through the corner. It's intercepted behind the net, but then lost. The Red Knights right out in front as it deflects down into the corner. That'll take us to the end of the period. So the Red Knights, some good effort on the power play, but unable to get one past Kimblinger. It'll still 4 seconds to go in the power play, but likely will be 5-on-5 before the Red Knights will be able to take advantage of that 4 seconds when we get the second period going. You're watching MN Hockey TV. After 1, it's Wazyata 2 and the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights 1. We're going to take a break and come back with the puck drop for your second period after this. So we welcome you back inside the St. Louis Park Rec Center. We're about to get the second period underway. 5 seconds of power play remaining for the Red Knights. Likely not going to be much coming of that as we're underway here. I think they made a scoreboard error. I think they only put 15 minutes up on the clock. So as of right now, 14:50 remaining here in the second period until somebody catches that and tacks those extra 2 minutes back up on the clock. We're going to play a little bit of short time right now as into the offensive zone is Branton. Branton, what a move. Branton! And a penalty coming. No goal, even though the puck was slid into the back of the net. The net rather came off. It's waiting for the officials. As we saw Beeman slide over, we saw the puck in the net and waited for an official signal. But Branton bidding for her second of the evening. She scored the second goal of the game. The penalty against Abby Hancock for the hook. 14:32 to go in the second period, so they haven't quite noticed the clock error yet, as that one shot wide by Addie Hackley off the face-off. As Hancock took the penalty. There's Branton working her way in. Branton tried to slide this one through that was blocked by DeCesar, but able to be held by the Trojans. 1:40 in the power play. As they tried to center this one out front. It's still loose, pops free. It's loose in the far side circle. Red Knights come out with it. As it's chipped along by Emma Hain. Hain trying to catch up to it. Hain does catch up to it. As she'll take a turnaround shot with a bad angle and still got a good look in on Kimlinger. Back into the offensive zone, but offside is Branton. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off. Officially 13:50 to go here in the second period. 1:19 in the power play. The puck played back deep into the Wazyata zone. As Hammy Hackley back to pick it up. She tries to control it. She's got Mortensen in front of her trying to make life difficult. 1:05 in the power play is Hackley now behind her net. She plays it over toward Mallory Coffin. Coffin will now have to weave her way around as she tries to set up Hackley. Hackley on the near side. She gets a bump in the back from Zavarol. The Red Knights able to clear it out as that puck came free in the slot. It'll work its way all the way back into the Wazyata zone. Mortensen back to pick it up first behind her net. Oh! And that one just wobbles in as it looked almost from my angle like that one was headed into the net. As Mortensen's shot slid through the blue, and by the thinnest of margins, we remain a 2-1 Wazyata lead. 25 seconds to go in the Wazyata power play as the Red Knights able to clear it back out as Scoro plays it up to the far side. Gaining the offensive zone is Prodal. Prodal leaves it behind her for Heyer. Heyer will push one down into the near side corner. 10 seconds now in the power play. 12:40 officially in the second period. As this one centering feed comes out, as it comes loose in front for Coco Crandall. Crandall's shot was blocked. Power play over. Red Knights now officially back at full strength. I think somebody a little bit asleep at the switch. That'll add it on a few seconds of extra time for the Trojans. It's been a little bit of a bizarre game in that regard. We've got the clock error that began the second period, which, as far as I can tell, is still not been corrected. We had that power play that lasted that few extra seconds. As that icing call will bring it back into the Red Knight zone. It'll be to the right of Beeman. It's right off the face-off, and what a goal! Again, it's Branton! As Branton slid over to the near side on the stick side, or the glove side, rather. My goodness. That's Gretchen Branton's 7th goal of the season, and both of them have come in spectacular fashion this evening. You see these Wazyata Trojans, they're raring to roll. They know they've got it going now. They lead it now 3-1. 12:08 to go in the second period. As Branton with her second took that beautiful pass as she was sliding in on the glove side of Beeman and able to snipe it up into the top right corner. The icing call there will bring it deep into the Trojan zone. Face-off eventually controlled by Wazyata, carried out into the neutral zone by Ruby Moss. Moss trying to work her way around Maya Jones as the Red Knights take control. They get it out to neutral ice as it's off the stick of Mac McMillan, and then losing control of it is Ali Scoro. McMillan back to pick it up in the corner. McMillan battling on the end boards. Wazyata trying to push it up the near side. The battle ensues as Melsness able to take it away, but then loses it out into the neutral zone, so the Red Knights having to reset. They will dump it in deep and change. 11:15 to go, second period. 3-1 Wazyata on the second spectacular goal of the game by Gretchen Branton. The Red Knights controlling in the neutral zone, carried up the near side by Haag into the offensive zone. Haag will shoot one over the net. That one might have been deflected by one of the Wazyata defenders. As the Trojans now look to play it from their own zone, as its stretch pass out into the neutral zone is intercepted by Anna Podine. Podine will play it over toward the near side, and then dumped in deep by Junker. Junker's shot will, the dump will work its way around the net. The centering feed comes out front, and it's poked up into the corner by McKenna Hartle. As Wazyata back into the neutral zone, up the left wing side is Abby Prodal. Prodal slows it down. She plays it toward the behind the net. 10:25 to go, second period. 3-1 Wazyata. The shot from the point was well wide and then knocked down, and then flying in is Crandall to take a shot and ends up over on the near side boards again. Then able to be held by Sammy Hackley. Sophia Bach worked her way up toward it. Now the Red Knights able to get it out to neutral. Along the far side boards in front of the scorer's table. Here's Zavarol into the offensive zone, but then had the puck poked away from her as soon as she gained the blue line. And then dumped in deep by Emma Peschel as it'll work its way off the end boards up to the far side boards in the Wazyata zone where the Trojans look to break out with it. It's taken back the other way by Mortensen. Mortensen tries to center it, but it only comes to Urban out front. There were no Red Knights there, and Urban able to get it back out into the Wazyata zone. The Red Knights will have to play it from deep behind their own net. 9:25 to go, second period. 2-1 in favor of the 3-1 in favor of the Wazyata Trojans now. It's back into the offensive zone is Mortensen. Mortensen backhand shot will go through the slot. Now taken back the other way by the Trojans. There's a shot that'll go wide of the net. It'll come its way around the near side. 9 minutes to go here in the second period. Trojans back to pick it up deep in their own zone. It ends up with Podine. Podine will flip this one out through neutral, and it'll work its way deep into the Wazyata zone for an icing. So a face-off deep in the Red Knight zone. 8:44 to go in the second period. 3-1 Wazyata. Gretchen Branton with 2 goals, both of them coming in spectacular fashion. The first one took a puck on the half wall on the far side, worked her way through the middle, and just able to deke her way into an open net in front of Rose Beeman. And the second one, as she drove toward the net and then was able to deflect a shot into the net on the far side. They're coming here in the second period. 8.5 minutes now to go. This one able to be held in briefly by McKenna Hartle. It'll work its way back into the Red Knight zone. Along the far side boards, the centering feed is intercepted by Melsness. We played off the glass on the near side half wall. The Red Knights able to get it back out to neutral. It's Melsness with it. Melsness with a shot that'll go over the net as play is stopped. Yeah, Sloan Matthews took a big fall of the ice, a little bit slow to get up. We're going to get a penalty here against Olivia Haag, possibly related to that. That'll be another power play for Wazyata. They are 1 for 3. They scored in a 5-on-3. That was the goal by Sophie Urban that opened the scoring. It was 2-0 Wazyata, then it was 2-1, and now 3-1 in favor of the Trojans. Wazyata able to control the puck, but now play stopped, and we're going to get another penalty right off the face-off. It's going to be Urban. So the power play lasted exactly 1 second for the Trojans. We're going to have a minute 59 of 4-on-4. That'll open the ice up a little bit for a player like Gretchen Branton, should the opportunity present itself. Off the face-off, controlled deep in the Wazyata zone by the Trojans. They play it over toward the near side. Peschel plays this one deflected just wide as Mortensen trying to catch up to it. He's getting fended off. It's puck up in the corner. Is able to come out with it is Matthews. Matthews into the offensive zone. Delayed penalty coming here against the Red Knights, as we have a player slow to get up in the the Wazyata zone. And that is Lily Mortensen, as she's able to be helped off with assistance from her teammate Zavarol and one of the trainers for the Red Knights. There was a delayed penalty assessed on the play, which was going to go against the Red Knights. It looks like Avery Junker will serve the penalty that Mortensen had drawn. So now we're going to have a 4-on-3 power play, or a minute 36. As Matthews against DeCesar was pushed up into the corner as Jones trying to clear it out, but Wazyata able to maintain the offensive zone. It was Hackley. Hackley slides it over toward the circle. A good job of getting in the way of that one by Peschel. It's a shot from the circle, and that one was saved, as it ricochets all the way deep into the Wazyata zone. 1:10 in the power play, 7:10 in the period. It's a 4-on-3 power play for Wazyata. And up ahead for Matthews. Matthews into the offensive zone. Matthews gives it back to Hackley. Hackley working her way in. Now sends it up back to Matthews in the circle. Over to Hackley with a shot wide. It'll come around to the near side. It'll be held in by Scoro. She gets it back to Hackley. Hackley with a shot that'll go, was knocked down in front of the net, and ends up in the corner. As Jones unable to clear, and the Trojans able to maintain the attack. Scoro with a shot, just deflected wide out front as Brenton had worked her way in front of the net.